Hello, my name is Frederik, and today we're going to talk about hybrid training. So, what is hybrid training and why is it important? In this video, I'm going to talk mostly about what it is, why it's important, and why it's something that we need to look at seriously. Then, possibly in later videos, we can talk a little bit about more of the specifics of how to organize hybrid training. But for now, in the beginning, just definition and the most important aspects of hybrid training. So, hybrid training talks about balancing multiple physical qualities, or it talks about training different things at the same time. So the word hybrid or hybridization talks about having something that's not a pure sport or a pure type of training, something that is being hybridized or combined with something else. So that's where it comes from. I wrote an article some time ago, and in my style of training, I have this triad, 1, 2, 3, of strength, flexibility, and structure. So that's an organizational principle for me, and it also relates to hybrid training. If you are training a sport, oftentimes the sport itself, there's very few things that are completely balanced. Almost everything will skew our physical development one way or the other. So, for instance, if you play soccer as your main thing, if it's not balanced or there isn't additional training done, it will tend to develop a body that is a soccer body, and a lot of people will have come in contact with people who have developed imbalances from only doing a particular activity. I'm not hating on soccer in particular, I'm just saying that if you don't balance it, there's a risk of certain type of injuries, there's imbalances in flexibility that tends to develop. Same goes for certain martial arts and everything. It's just the nature of just doing one activity. So hybrid training says, well, if you're not competitive and you don't have to invest all your time, energy towards maxing out a skill set, towards maxing out a particular physical quality, then you should put energy into the balancing of things. Less risk of injury, it's more enjoyable, whatever. It also comes back to the grandchildren or parents wanting to play with the kids. Now, if you only develop one particular style of training, then you are not going to be as adaptable as if you have multiple types of training going on at the same time. The other thing of note here is hybrid training allows for, and this is the positive upside of this, hybrid training allows for training multiple different things at the same time. And a lot of people will have this, like, I like to go hiking, I like to do martial arts, I like to do strength training. That doesn't mean that I can't do all of them. Now there's a particular way to think about this, there's a particular way to organize these things for the best longevity, for the best long-term effect. So this is one of the things that hybrid training talks about. The other thing is the combination aspects, and some of it comes down to what is necessary to do, and the other thing is like, what do we have an inclination towards? So hybrid training can be put together in a million different ways. It will depend largely on what is the primary physical art that you like to do. If you are doing a particular martial art, it will need some kind of balancing activity that's not hitting on exactly the same strength pathways, the same movement pathways. There's also something with energy expenditure. If you do something that's very high energy demand, then it's not particularly balancing to do something the following day that's also exhausting, and you're just driving yourself into the ground. So that also needs to be considered when talking about hybrid training. So the combinations and the possible combinations are infinite. It obviously comes down to personal background, injury background, training history, all these things play into it. So hybrid training is not one thing, it's a combination of things that make up hybrid training. So hybrid training, one of the key benefits is that things don't go stale, or that's one of the upsides, is that because you train multiple things at the same time, you will experience multiple things improving concurrently. Obviously, the peak of development in any one activity probably won't be reached, because that is the realm of specialization, which is kind of the flip side, or the other side, that this is what we're not doing with hybrid training. We're not specializing in one thing. We're trying to develop a broad array of skills, and so specialization is not where it's at with hybrid training. Everything has a price, so there's that. All right, so that is hybrid training. I'll leave a link to the article about the 3 pillars in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider hitting that little like button or the subscribe button. It would help me out tremendously. And as always, thank you for watching.